something interesting. I'll just say a little bit about modal music, because this is why I start to play this kind of music, because it's modal music, which is different than European music. European music, it used to be modal, long, 1,000 years ago, 500, all music, at one point was modal, but Europeans about 500 years ago started to get very clever in many areas of life, and very clever, kind of manipulating things. Because when music is, like when an instrument is tuned to the natural scale, and what I mean by natural is that there's something called the overtone series, and that's the way a tone will create thousands of overtones. And that's actually the same, it works the same in the whole universe. I think it does anyways. I haven't been outside of this planet, but basically it's a universal principle that vibration, resonance, creates the overtone series. And all the 12 notes, the do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si, do, sa, re, ga, ma, pa, ra, ni, sa, this is derived from these overtones. So it's totally natural. And the distance between each semitones is almost equal. Not quite, almost. But what Europeans did is they got very clever and made the distance between semitones exactly equal. So they actually modified nature. And we do that a lot, don't we? We change things, genetically modified foods and everything. Kind of go in and modify. So most people don't realize that about European music. The piano is actually out of tune. I don't know if everybody understands what I'm saying here. Does anyone understand? Understand translation? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, I won't speak too much. But people don't realize the piano is actually out of tune. It's actually out of tune. So is the normal guitar with the frets. So modal music uses the natural tuning system, which is in tune with the universe, you can say. Whereas as soon as you have harmony, Western music harmony, and the tempered scale, it's called the tempered scale, it's actually out of tune. So we grew up with that, so we don't really hear it, but after you get used to the natural tuning, like for me now, if I hear piano, it's like, oh, it's hurting sometimes. Not all notes, but sometimes a little bit hurting. So with modal music, you have basically modes, and what's interesting is what Western people say is the modal music is scales. It's a scale. It's not scale. I'll show you why it's not scale. This last piece I played Coffee, now I play Pilu, it's the same scale, but different grammar. So it sounds very different, even though it's the same scale. So, should we have somebody translate all this stuff?